Some more great information. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Alright everyone, this is Josh Rufin from EastWestHealing.com. And today I want to talk about low testosterone and its correlation with being hypometabolic or hypothyroid. The problem is this. Testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT, has become so prevalent in our society, right? Someone has the symptoms, they have low testosterone on their lab, whether it's male and female, it doesn't matter. They go in, they're given testosterone. They're given testosterone creams, possibly pellets. Most of the time, men are given injections once a week, sometimes once every other week. And there's a huge problem with this. Are you this person that literally sometimes you get these shots, you get these creams, and most of the time women get them because they have low testosterone. But in reality, this thing's happening kind of up the stream, that's the problem. Or in their life, that's the issue. And testosterone for women really gives them their libido. Same thing in men, among other things. But the problem is this, most people that we talk to or work with are doing the therapy, whatever it may be, and they still have no libido. They still can't get an erection. And most of the time what happens is their estrogen levels get so high, and doctors for some reason never test for this, and that's what's causing even more of the quote-unquote inhibition of the testosterone production, right? So the problem is you have low levels, you're doing the therapy, and you still have the symptoms you had, but on your lab, you're showing higher levels again. So what's the catch? Well, the first thing is this. We have to decide there's two types of hypogonadism. So the first is type 1. Type 1 is there's a problem literally with the testes. Now, this is common with people with certain diseases, right? I can't pronounce some of them, like light egg cell disease. Or some people usually, when they're maybe in their 70s or 80s, right? Their testes are not going to be working from a lifetime of aging or stress, as you want to put it. Now, what is seen in a lab? You cannot test testosterone alone and say someone needs testosterone therapy, right? And I'm going to make a correlation with hypothyroidism in a few. So with type 1, what you usually see is low testosterone, right? There's a problem with the testes. There's high LH. So the signal's going out from the pituitary, luteinizing hormone, but the testes are not responding. In that instance, or that case, that person does need testosterone therapy. What they choose is up to them. I'm not really a fan of the creams because the creams usually supersaturate their body. What happens is their estrogen levels go up and they get gyno. Or in women, they get swelling, hot flashes and things like that. But at the same time, you need to replenish your other hormones like DHEA and pregnenolone. The caveat with taking these three is you have to do a lab every month to test your testosterone, LH, sex hormone binding globulin, estrogen, to really pregnenolone and DHEA to make sure that you're in balance, because if not, you can actually push things too high and push your testosterone into basically producing excess estrogen. And that's going to create the symptoms that you came into this with, right? And most people need some type of aromatase inhibitor, whether it's an herb or a medication. Now with type 2, there's no really problem with the testes. What you usually see is low testosterone and low LH. There's no signal coming out from the hypothalamus and pituitary, so of course the testes are not responding. And the problem with this is no one's testing LH, and everyone's being put on testosterone. So I cannot tell you how many times I've talked to people and worked with people that really have type 2 or being put on testosterone, and what happens, they actually push themselves into type 1. You take testosterone, you teach your body to stop producing testosterone, i.e. the testes. So you push yourself into type 1 and you actually screw yourself even more. So I'm really going to talk about type 2, because that's the most common and probably the most misunderdiagnosed and treated, in my opinion. It's been shown that most people with hypothyroidism, and I would say anyone that has any form of testosterone deficiency or libido issues, have some type of HPTA or T thyroid or HPG gonad stress, right? Hypothalamus pituitary. But it's been shown in much research that cortisol kills testosterone, right? It's simple as that. Estrogen kills testosterone. When we're stressed, we're not regulating our blood sugar, cortisol goes up, right? When we're not regulating our blood sugar or eating the right types of proteins or the right amount of proteins in relation to carbs and fats, estrogen goes up. We can't detoxify it. This applies to men and women. Mostly men with type 2, but just low testosterone in, women. Researchers have also found that with hypothyroid men, you actually have subnormal responses of luteinizing hormone to gonadotropin-releasing hormone, right? What does that mean is there's a disconnect between the hypothalamus and pituitary. And that's very important because the hypothalamus stimulates the pituitary, which stimulates the testes. So if you're not getting that response, you're not going to get testosterone production from the testes, right? So if we're hypometabolic and we're producing excess cortisol and excess estrogen, that's two whammies. And then we're not allowing the hypothalamus and pituitary to connect because we're in basically survival mode. And if you think about it from a simple sense, when we are running from a lion, we're in a stress state. We're in survival mode, right? We see this usually with low temperatures and high pulses, or low temperatures and low pulses, or people that have trouble sleeping or libido issues, whatever. You're running from a lion. You're not thinking about procreating. So a lot of these resources get pushed towards surviving and not procreating. It's really simple if you think about it. What do we do to regulate this so we don't take the hormones and push ourselves into type 1? Well, the first thing is, in our opinion, is you need to reduce inflammation in the system. In my opinion, when you have stress with the HPG axis or HPA, adrenal or thyroid axis, I mean, all these things kind of go together, but the first thing is to reduce stress in the musculoskeletal and central nervous system. And you can do that many ways. It can be done with breathing. It can be done with meditation. It can be done with, reducing your exercising amount. It can be done with massaging. Of course, there's some supplementation that can maybe help. But what's intertwined in that is the types of pro-metabolic and pro-thyroid foods you're eating and the right food frequency to regulate your blood sugar, to take the burden off the adrenals so we can upregulate testosterone. So we detoxify estrogen so we can upregulate testosterone. And so we can actually take the burden off the body, take the burden out of the survival mode, because if we regulate our blood sugar, we're actually pushing the body into a parasympathetic state. Thus, we upregulate the HPG gonadal or HP adrenal, HPT thyroid axis. So everything's working together. Now, that takes time. You can't just do that for a month and think you're going to get results. And it's been shown in a lot of research that, not that I'm a fan of this, that if you use T4 and T3 together, that most men's testosterone production will go up. What does this tell us? That if we eat the right foods, and we store energy, i.e. carbohydrates, and we allow our body to convert thyroid hormone, we're not only reducing the things that actually prevent thyroid hormone production or testosterone production, we upregulate thyroid hormone production, allowing testosterone production to go up again. It's a win-win. Now, of course, there are herbs that people can take. It's not something I want to share on YouTube. There's things that you can take to lower estrogen. There are herbs that you can take to stimulate luteinizing hormone once the foundation is set. So hopefully you understand this before you embark on that journey of just taking testosterone. Because in my opinion, most people, that's where they go. I need to take testosterone. And they take it and they push themselves into phase 1. So to recap, the most important thing is test testosterone and LH together. From there, decide what path you want to go. And it's as simple as that. Thank you for tuning in. I'm out.